Hello, welcome to the queue. Operation Thunderball. It is turn 13, July 42. This is the Commonwealth turn. Not a lot of attacks, so it's going to be a little boring. Got some convoy raiding. The French have one walk-on attack, and then just a bunch of pieces moving. But before we get there, we have a couple of rules that we kind of messed up a little bit. Even though we did the research beforehand, Britain and the U.S. attacked Spain. If you look on the reference sheets, they are allowed to attack Axis miners with no penalty. However, Axis minor does not include Spain for some reason. Vichy is an Axis minor, but both are controlled by Germany and both get recruitment roles and can move around. So why the difference? Don't know, but that's the rule. So we've got to spend 10 bucks. So what we did on the chat was we removed the Russian Lend-Lease infantry, the British infantry, the British paratrooper, that's 9, and we pulled a militia off the board that I placed last turn for 11, so we'll get rid of those units, saving $1 for 33. All right, that's the first rule infraction. The second rule infraction, and it's not really that it was an infraction because I'd moved my subs here to block these ports in Calcutta so that we could cut off the supply path for this miner factory. Now I thought that would completely block, but apparently it's like a interdiction like you would do Lend-Lease. So we had PBE roll the dice for this unit that went through the interdiction zone, and Japan rolled an 11, but the British coastal sub rolled a 12. So this heavy armor is gone to the bottom of the oceans. We'll get it off the board. And that is it for that. But that's interesting to note going forward that it's interdiction like Lend-Lease interdiction. To completely block off this port, you'd need the 3 ships for a blockade to block off that supply path. So either way, medium tank down. So that's good news for us in a game that there's not a lot of good news for. So let's go to the purchases here. So that gave us $33. For $3, we have a paratrooper in London. We have in Spain, and I'm marking this, so it's not Northern England, but it's will be in Madrid, a artillery and a militia for 6, and Lend-Lease Russia and an aircraft for 10. Southern Africa, which is Cape Town, a fighter for 10. And we're going to build 3 militia, and we are laying down a heavy cruiser with improved construction for 4 for the final 10. So 10, 20, 33. The FEC was convoy rated for $1, lost it. So we will take that off. They are purchasing nothing. I don't know if I can do a militia. I guess I don't need a militia for a pathway, do I? So let's change that and put a militia in our little mountain haven there. Anzac has $6. They're buying a sub for 5 because they have the improved, or not improved. It is improved construction. All right, so we'll save $1 for them. All right, only buying that because I think they're going to be wiped out this next turn. We'll see. So for the convoy rating, we've got this coastal sub in I-12 coming over to P-50. We have another British sub in I-7 coming over 1-2 to P-50 as well. So those 2 will convoy raid that zone. And we will take this Anzac sub from, there it is, P-32 will come up 1, 2, 3 into P-16, and we'll convoy raid. The next sub will come from P14, another Anzac sub, into P15 and Convoy raid. So that is it for the British attacks. So let's roll some dice. Let me get my markers first. I should have had those over here to begin with, so I can pull out any damage. And we need 6-sided dice and a dice tray. All right. So let's go, and this time we'll remember to add our Convoy modifiers. So the coastal sub will be a +1. Red dice is the attacker. So that's 7. So that will be 2 for the coastal sub. And the regular sub is +2 to the red dice. So that will be 2 more. So that will be a total of 4. So I'll take that. So between the 2 subs, we convoy raid this line for 4. That only leaves 1 additional for this Anzac sub here off P16. So let's roll that one and see what it gets. I threw the 4 back in the tray. All right, so P16 can only take 1 and does, so we'll put a 1 up there. Now the Anzac sub in P15 gets +2 and fails. So 5 total will come off of Japan, which is hardly worth it. All right, so that is it. We don't need the dice tray for the rest of the turn. Get those out of the way. Let's go with some movement. All right, so let's see. We've got down here in Cape Town, we've got a train marker. We're going to rail this Marine all the way up to Egypt. We've got this Anzac artillery and infantry, which will step over into, what is that, Nubia. All right, get rid of that marker and that marker. And I think that's the only markers I got. All right, let's try and work our way from this direction. We have a torpedo boat destroyer in I-5, which will come over 1 to I-4. We've got a sub in M8, which will come over 1, 2, 3 into the Indian Ocean. Yes, the French sub's going to follow. I was trying to think what I had a plan. All right, so that British sub is in I-7. All right, next we've got a destroyer from M4. We'll come 1, 2, 3 into I-4 as well. We have an Anzac transport, and I think we do have, we do have a major facility. So we will come, well, we're going to grab this British infantry off of Malta. Come over 1, we're going to grab a Marine off of Lower Egypt. 2, 3 into I-4, and they will land over here in Aden. All right, we got a torpedo boat destroyer. They also will join 1, 2, 3 into Aden. So we got 2 of those. We got 2 different sculpts for that because I don't have enough of those longer ones. All right, so accompanying those will be a destroyer and a heavy cruiser from M2, a major facility. So they will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll give us 2 destroyers, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, a heavy cruiser in I-4. All right, continuing to work this direction. We are going to have this fighter take off from this carrier in M1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and land here in Lower Egypt, where that air base is. My mistake. All right, so now let's see what ships we got here. We've got 2 carriers, and there is a major facility there. So that will be out of M1. 1, 2, 3, 4 into the Red Sea in I-5. And the fighter will accompany 1 of those. While we're at it, let's just have this plane, which is a tactical bomber. old school swordfish, out of Gibraltar. 1, 2, 3, 4, and land on this other light carrier. All right, so we don't want those guys to be alone, so we're going to take a destroyer and a heavy cruiser out of M1. They will come 1, 2, 3, 4 into I5. The rest of the fleet, which is 3 heavy cruisers, 2 battleships, 2 destroyers, and a light cruiser, will all follow the same path, 1, 2, 3, into M8. All right, so there's those. Those Russian subs are kind of hanging out there looking menacingly. All right, so we've got 2 transports. We're going to grab a Marine, load up into M1, come down and load up this Marine from Spanish Morocco. 2, 3 into that sea zone, and we'll offload those Marines into Lower Egypt. Man, it is really hard to call that Lower Egypt. Really hard. All right, so that means that we have done all our moving there. Nope, we're going to take this medium bomber off of Gibraltar, 1, 2, 3, 4, into that Lower Egypt with that airbase. All right. So now into Spain. We don't need anybody here because Vichy France is not in the war, even though they're an Axis minor. I won't go there. All right, so let's leave the guys as they are. So that's going to be 3, and I'll chip that out later. So 3 infantry come over from Catalonia to Basque. I've got, I can rail 4 in Europe, even though I just can't cross that line. Well, because I don't own that, because the rail gauge changes. So the 3 here in Eastern Andalusia, 1 will back into Gibraltar, and 2 will rail up to Basque Country, where I will be joined by my U.S. allies. All right. So I've got 2 fighters in Gibraltar that will fly up 1, 2. There's an air base here in Galicia, Leon. So they'll be in that zone, so I can scramble. We've got 1 air transport that is also in Gibraltar, and he will come out to the sea here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into London, because that's where the paratrooper's going. All right, 2 final air transports in Gibraltar will come up 1, 2 into Madrid, pick up the 2 paratroopers, 3, 4, 5, and they have to land in Malta. There's just no other way around it. And you know I don't really need to do that because I can get to the same spot with that air base, and it gives me better flexibility. All right, let's back out of Malta and go to northern Algeria because we have that air base there. All right. I can do just everything I need from right there. All right. So we got some British ships here in A44. All right, so let's take 1 destroyer from A44, and it will cross 1, 2, 3 into M8. All right, so we're gonna leave these 2 ships right there. So that destroyer, there's no subs up there in the Atlantic, but at the same time, we'll leave it there. No, you know what? We'll bring it up just in case. So this sub from A44 major facility will come up 4. Be 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, it's only coming up 3. Let me walk around the board here and do this one. All right. On second thought, that's not what we're doing. We're going to bring that destroyer into A28 with all the other ships, because I forgot they're not leaving. I've got a torpedo, not a torpedo, but a coastal defense ship will come down 1. And these 2 transports will come up into this port here in Northern Ireland. So they could go 1, 2. Is that in the viewfinder? Yes, it is. All right. So they're in the port in Northern Ireland, safely tucked away. All right, so let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're safe. Safe from all get out. But either way, I don't need these 2 fighters to scramble for anything. So we will take both fighters and land them in Northern England as well, just in case I'm missing something. The infantry will march down from Scotland. The anti-aircraft gun will march down from Scotland. I've got 3 infantry from London, which will move over. Nope. I've got 1 there. I got an artillery moving over. So I need 2 infantry to move over. So give me a full load of transports. All right. So we'll leave 2, all those militia, the fort. It'll be a grand old time. All right. I think I've got all the British done. Let's see. We'll look around. I think we are golden. FEC, let's see. I'm thinking about moving them, but I can't. Same thing down here in Anzac. I'm noticing a theme. Oh, I do have something marked here. The light cruiser and destroyer. Let me move my board here, or slide it over anyway. We'll come out of C zone P67. 1, 2, 3 into P29. So they are in harm's way wherever they go, so they might as well join up with the U.S. All right, and you'll notice all the ships that are in the Caroline Islands. So let's place our goods. Let's start off with Anzac. Well, you know what? I didn't roll for tech. Let's do that real quick. I got a 7 for factories, an 8 for long range, and long range is the orange dice. So 11 and a 2. So long range goes up to stage 3. Joy to the world. All right. Sorry about that. All right, the submarine going here off this little minor shipyard in Sydney. We're gonna see if we can't cause some more damage. We'll get rid of their 6. Up to 1 they go, or saved 1. Take away the 2 from FEC, and for the final stand, we'll put them there. All right, that's it for that. All right, so let's take, this is Cape Town, and this is Spain. And actually, I think all these militia are going in Spain as well. So I'm going to grab those. All right, so Cape Town is the fighter. And the artillery and one of the militia is in Madrid. The militia goes into Gibraltar, Catalonia, and on the front line here in Basque Country. All right, so what else have I got to place? This cruiser just goes into stage 2 of the build queue. Take the paratrooper for London, the anti-aircraft gun for Russia. And we'll walk around, show that path here. All right, in London goes the paratrooper, and the anti-aircraft gun will come out of the tip of Scotland, follows along here. And I was told we can go through all these canals right into Leningrad. So that'll give 2 anti-aircraft guns to Leningrad. All right, so oh, my subs. That's why I built the sub base. So the sub base gives them an extra movement. So they would go one out of A21, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they would go here into the med in M2. Hopefully that is a no problem. And that will be it for Britain. Let's collect some income. They spent all theirs, so they are at $29 on the income tracker plus 3 for the Suez. So that gets them 32. FEC just gets their $2 bonus for some reason. Wartime income bonus. Anzac does not. They are now down to 4. Right? $4. Yeah. So with the 1 they saved, they'll have 5 for next turn. And that's it for the British turn. French turn, $6, 2 infantry. No biggie. All right, first movement, we're going to take the French sub out of P15 up into P7. We've got another French sub here in I5, which comes 1, 2, 3 to complete our blockade of FEC, or Calcutta factory again. All right, what other French movements do we have? Well, we've got a French transport that's in Malta at a major naval. We'll go 1 into M8. We'll grab the French Marine, the French infantry, 2, 3 into I4 and join up with the British forces staging there. All right, the sub will come 1, 2, 3 into I4 as well. The French battleship and torpedo boat destroyer from M4 will come over 1 to M8. This was our attack. It was just a walk-on. Should have done that first, but I got out of line. All right, last movement is this fighter from northern Algeria, from an air base, 1, 2, 3, but we'll land at this air base so we can scramble if needed. And that is 1 French from Transjordan will go into Egypt as well. All right, that, I assure you, is it, right? Yes. All right, let's place our 2 infantry. We are going to place 1 infantry in northern Algeria and 1 in French Morocco. All right. That seems like about good enough for France. They still have $6. They collect $6. That is it for the French, British, and whatever's left of the Commonwealth turns. Italy is up next. Look for Panzer J coming up soon.